AE1 short.
This is King Nova, and you're listening to At Sometime, Somewhere on AT1 Radio. So nobody even guesses if they listen to my music, but Sheek Louch, who's in the Locks, which is Jadakiss, Styles P, and Sheek Louch. I was listening to one of his albums called Walk With Me, and this song, How I Love You, came on, and I was like, man, that's it. I want to be just like this guy. And I was rapping, like just playing around before that, but the day I got that album is the day I started writing. I was 12. I remember somebody finding my book, my rhyme book in school, and she was reading it during lunch class, and I wanted to kill her because it was terrible. It was terrible. I was like just thinking about her reading the lyrics. It's like when in the beginning, it's so close to you. You don't want to share it with anybody. You're doing it and you're confident in it until people come around. Because now you know it could be judged. And even when I was like 17, 18, maybe even 19, I would only record if nobody was in my house. It's the only way I record. Because I didn't want anybody to hear it. Now, I'm uploading the songs and stuff. But I didn't want you to hear me recording. I didn't want you to be able to judge it. And I struggled once my brothers was listening. Like, my brother would be like, you got to work on your energy. And I'd be like, I start rapping louder. And he's like, that's not energy. And I'm like, then what the fuck is it? You know what I mean? Like, and I have a older brother who does music and he's really talented. So coming up behind him was like even worse because it was like nobody paid you any mind. I had another brother that I was doing music with at the time. And, you know, obviously we supported each other's music, but it just felt like black sheepish in terms of music. You know, it was like nobody like, man, I worry about you, bro. Like, it took me a long time to progress. And I appreciate, like, I did a show this week, last weekend, and when I got off the stage and a guy said, yo, I could tell you're seasoned, bro. Like, you've been rapping for a while. And I'm like, I appreciate that. You can tell how hard I've been working. My brothers, one of them specifically, he was the one who does music. He was so brutal. I'll bring songs home. I'm like, yo, check this out. And be me and my friends. And he'd be like, yeah, you fucked the song up. Like, you fucked the whole song up. And I would just accept it. But in the inside, like, I will be crushed, bro. I'm like, I don't ever want to let him hear a song again. But I had a friend who was very advanced, like right out the gate. He was very good. I wasn't very good out the gate, nor was I willing to explore. I just tried to stay where my little comfort zone was and live there. But it just like, I think I just hit so many points of when nobody's paying attention to you, you're either going to crumble or you're just not going to give a fuck. And you're just going to start doing whatever the hell you want to do. And I got to that point where I just started doing whatever I wanted to do. But I was still making the music, but I wasn't really pursuing music, at least correctly per se, right? I thought like, well, I should put the music up. Somebody got to hear it one day and it's going to be over, man. Like, and then you start getting older and you're like, yo, nobody's discovered the music. What the fuck is going on? So at a certain point, I was like, man, I need to really give myself to this music and chase it down. And in the midst of that, you have to start having a lot of ballsy moments where you just don't give a fuck, where you go into certain rooms and you're going to be like, damn, are you going to shrink yourself right now? Or are you going to fucking step in this room and like, yeah, I'm him. Let me show you why I'm him. And I go to this Sheek Louch event, right? And I leave straight from work. So I got like, I'm dressed like somebody who just left work. Let's put it that way. And everybody's playing their music, and some of the music is decent. And then I said, man, when I play this, and I played this song, Tupac in Vegas I had, and the whole room just went, And he was like, nah, because they was going to the next song. Stop that, dog. That's you? And I said, yeah, that's me. He was like, you look like you just left work. What the fuck? Like, he was really blown away. And I told him before the music even played, I said, yo, you inspired me, bro. Like, I listened to this album, and this is directly a product of listening to this album. And yeah, he was very impressed. He was very impressed with the music, which was great. I met him a few times, and before I'm done, whether I succeed to the degree I would like to succeed or not, I'm definitely gonna make sure I get a record with him before I'm done. There's not a lot of people for me now, I think, because I did not get validation from people a lot. I mean, I've never even said nothing like this in an interview, like this, but this is the God's honest truth on how I feel. I don't give a fuck. There's nobody who can validate me. I validate me. Like, I know how good this shit is. I know the work I put in. I know, like, bro, I got out of work last night at 10 o'clock. I was up to 2 o'clock doing music things. And then back to work, 7 a.m. Like, I know how committed I've been in the things that I've done to get there. Yeah, I've done events. Like, I think it was the last time I went to Dreamville, I walked in the door, and I'm a person, like, it's very hard for me to cry. I don't cry. Like, it's an issue I have. I don't cry. But I came in the door from Dreamville and I just broke down, bro. Because, like, it's a lot of fucking work, It's a lot of work. And I don't think people who are on the outside, they see the glitz and glamour of it. They see the fun parts and stuff like that. But it's like, no. Like, I've done street performances where I will suction cup my camera, my $2,000-$3,000 camera, to a glass and pray it doesn't fall. And I've had it fall. I've had my lenses cracked. And I'm like, damn, bro, but I'm here by myself right now. And okay, I guess this is just what it is. If I call 7 people and nobody shows up, the show must go on. But it felt great that for it to come from him. And I think from other people, I wouldn't care as much. Like, for some people, it may count for me, but for most people, like 99% of people, whatever, bro. I already validated myself. Ice-T, though, I was talking to Ice-T on the phone when I used to work on Law & Order SVU. Something went up online, and I had reached out to him, and I said, look, I don't know if you caught this yet, but somebody posted this about you. You might want to kick that off before it. And he was like, oh, man, I'm not even concerned about that. I appreciate it, though. And then he started talking to me about my music. And he was like, yo, I've been watching. And he was like, I feel like you're ready now. I remember when I met Ice-T, I went in his dressing room and I rapped to him. I'm like, yo, it's about to be over. And when I rapped to him, he was just like, okay. It was like a big ass humble pie, bro. And yeah, but so that counted too. Like, when he told me, like, the things when he felt like I had progressed, I was like, yo, that's what's up. I appreciate that. So when I went down to Dreamville Festival, I was giving away free beer and free shots for anybody that would follow me. And I didn't even know if it was going to work. I didn't know what it was going to be. And it kicked off like crazy. It was like throwing bread to pigeons. And you meet a lot of nice people too. So I met a lot of nice people, and people started following me. And the first year I did it, I did really well, but it was backbreaking work, And I don't care about that. I'm just going to do what I got to do. And the second year, I knew the lay of the land a little bit better. That helped. Buddy Lofton came with me, and we have a project that stemmed from this festival, and that helped having somebody else there. And he looked at me when we got there. He said, you did all this by yourself? And I said, I did everything by myself. And he was like, man, you're crazy. So we did that. And the Dreamville Festival, like, there's plenty of festivals that go on. But for me, the Dreamville Festival is like, this is more so an audience for me. These are people who listen to songs with context and lyrics and, about real life and things like that. And the last album I did was just all my personal pain and gains. And I can't go to Rolling Loud. There's no disrespect. It's Sexy Red, Ice Spice, um, 42 Doug or someone, like it's just, those artists are doing their thing, but it's not my sort of audience. What J. Cole has going, J. Cole's my favorite artist. In this time, I think it's a big tie in my head between him and Tupac. But, that's where I would like to be signed to from somewhere in the music business, in the game. I want to be a part of that. So I want to go there. That makes most sense to me. So, and being able to learn the lay of the land, you get to plan better every time. Like last time I kind of started planning in December. Now, as soon as the festival was over, I was like, okay, and there's a whole blueprint now. All right, this is the way we're gonna attack it this time. This is gonna make this better. I have a whole crew for the next one that's coming with me, and they're gonna work, and we're gonna work, and we're gonna also enjoy ourselves. I know what it is to just work, and that's brutal. So you got to find a nice happy medium for the people that's coming too, where we can work and make something happen. If you treat people good, they want to do more for you. Everybody, I try to get everybody I know to watch Naruto. Okay. When I just did the One Train Cipher, and now when I do the One Train Cipher, which is a big cipher with a bunch of artists by Steve Wells. Steve, I hope I said your name right. But he's actually Russ's cameraman. So I call it Sage of Sixth Path Nova. That's the flow I go into. That's what I've never even told nobody this, but this is my own brain. I'm like, yeah, Sage of Six Paths Nova is on. Like, if you watch Naruto, you know what Sage of Six Paths is. That's like the ultimate energy, the ultimate power. I'm here. But Naruto, I feel very strongly. I'm actually gonna get a Naruto tattoo here, but I feel very strongly connected to Naruto because he is me. Like, like he sees himself in a way that other people don't see him. They see him as a knucklehead, and he's like, no, I'm gonna be Hokage. And they're like, you're crazy. And you know what? There's a little bit of crazy to thinking that you can accomplish something that other people don't have an understanding for. And when it's slow, like when nothing's happening for you, you have to hold on to that delusion. You have to believe it. If you don't believe it, it's not happening because you don't even believe it. Why the hell would somebody else believe it? But I really believe it. So it's like if I give somebody my music and I say, hey, check my music out. I know if they listen to the music or not because you're coming back if you did. I'm sure of it. So if I never hear anything from the person, I say they didn't listen to it. Because everybody and I've tested that theory out where I go, hey, did you get to listen to the music? And they go, oh no, I haven't. And I'm like, okay. And everybody who actually does, they're like, man, you're really good. What are you doing? Like, and I'm like, I wish it was back in the day where they were doing like auditions at a record label. Those days are over, But Naruto's the GOAT. He believes he is who he is, and then he makes you believe that he is who he is, and then he does it. They have, a person, a Jinchuriki, who's a hip hop head. And I feel like hip hop is just universal. And they're aware of that. The people who look at numbers and the people who want to keep shows going and want to build, you got to look at, okay, what's not just trendy? What is something deep in the fabrics of the world? Hip hop. Music itself anyway, but hip hop for sure. And I think hip hop's the one genre that brings everyone, right? Like country music is like, you got a lot of white people in country music. You starting to get a little black audience, but pop is like, but I feel pop, like pop and hip hop gets the most of every culture. Every other genre is just like, all right, metalheads, yeah, okay, those metalhead people, like, okay, this sound, EDM, like, yes, EDM people over there. But this brings like every race. It's like, who doesn't appreciate hip hop? There's Jewish people who listen to hip hop. There's black people. There's Indian people who listen to hip hop. You just have somebody go viral now. It's an Indian dude, and he sound like 3 6 Mafia. So it's everywhere. This year I have a few singles. I'm still undecided on if I'm gonna release them or not. But towards the end of the year, I'm gonna release an album called Attention Seeker, with all of the sounds and things that I'm pretty much done talking about. You'll probably never hear any songs like those songs again, pretty much going forward. And then I'm not sure, it may be March 18th. Me and Buddy Lofton are releasing a project called Free Beer, Free Shots, based on what happened at the Dreamville Festival, and you hear us talk about it too, like kind of like a recap of what it's like and things like that. It's a really good album, man. I think like 10 out of 10. All right, guys, 10 out of 10. Y'all better make sure y'all pre-order. If you don't pre-order, I don't know, something bad's gonna happen. So I don't know. I ain't gonna say something too crazy, but something bad gonna happen. So you better pre-order. And then I have this project that I'm working on, a solo project. I haven't really titled it yet. I kind of wait. I just let that come to me as is, And sometimes it just bing. Oh, okay. This kind of summarizes what this sound is or what this feeling is. And I'm looking forward mostly to, this is going to be the #1 album next year. The one with Buddy Lofton is going to be the #1 album. I'm just that hell-bent on how I'm going to push it, and I don't even know how many people in New York City, and I'm going to introduce myself to people every single day and get them to pre-order every single day and get them to buy the album and get them to spin the album every single day. I can walk around and 30,000 people can tell me no, but I bet you I got 3,000 out of that 30,000. I'm cool with that. So, especially in the era now where nobody buys music, I'm going to get people to buy music.
AT1 Short.
At Sometimes Somewhere is produced by Audio-Technica for AT1 Radio. It is recorded at AT1 Studio at Technica House, New York. Follow AT1 Radio and Audio-Technica USA on all social media platforms. Thanks for listening.